Okay. When you get your frog, we're going to put the frog in the tray for you, so you'll have your frog. You're also going to get a kit, dissection kit. In your dissection kit, you have a petri dish. You can put any frog parts in that you remove. You'll keep the petri dish in the dissection pan at all times. Okay? You don't want to take that out. It's not to be on your desk. It's not to be somewhere else. It's to be here if you remove any of the organs of your frog. You're also going to have a couple magnifying glasses. You'll have dissection scissors. They are sharp. Be careful of them. You'll have a couple sets of tweezers. You'll probably have a little stick or a pointer of some kind, and I'll show you where I use that in just a few minutes. You'll also have a number of different sizes of dissection pins. The best ones to use are the large ones, the really large T-pins. Okay. These are pretty strong, but they're very difficult to push in because you just have this little flat part. They're much easier to use if you have the T-pins. Okay. You're going to get a sheet of directions that tells you what to do. The only thing that's different is we're not using a scalpel, we're going to use the scissors. It also will tell you what you're going to find step by step. Okay? So, you'll take your frog, you'll turn him over on its back. I say he, but it might be a she. You'll know when you open the frog up if it's a she because there's a number of little eggs inside. They look kind of like dirt. And you'll just have to clean them out of the frog before you can find the parts. Okay? One of the most important parts is pinning your frog down. Now, when you pin the frog down, the frog's been sitting in dissection liquid, so liquid you usually leak out when you do this. It's just a dissection liquid, it's not a big deal. Okay, you need to pin down the legs, pin at an angle so it goes into the wax that's underneath the frog. The bottom of these pans are covered with wax, then your pin sticks in. Pin it at an angle so it holds the frog so it doesn't move. The frogs are not alive. They would only move because you're moving them, not because they have any reaction. You're also going to have to pin up in the shoulders at an angle. And these pins are not the best ones. The T-pins are the best. And you want to make sure your frog doesn't wiggle around, so kind of make sure he doesn't move around. Again, not because it's alive, but because you want to have it securely in here. If you find you start cutting and the frog is not staying in the pan well, then you just have to push your pins down a little more. Okay? Now, directions wise, you're going to take your dissection scissors, and the first thing you're going to need to do is to make a horizontal cut basically between his thighs. Okay? In doing that, it says on the directions to take the tweezers or the forceps and kind of pinch the skin and hold it up with the forceps. But they don't hold on so well, so I just use my fingers. And you only want to cut through the skin layer. So you kind of cut through the skin. And then keep your scissors sideways so you don't cut organs. And you're going to cut side to side. When you're working on this, you can move your pan if you need to, like sideways, to move the frog. Because I'm on the camera up here, I'm not going to move the frog. I move the pan. And then you'll take your scissors, holding them sideways, and you're only cutting skin layer this time. You will. He's not cooperating. Let's see. You'll cut through the skin all the way up to between his front legs, pretty much up toward his chin up here. Okay, so you've cut through the skin. Now, yeah, there's a lot of liquid in the frog. When you're working in the pan with the frog, one person at a time. One person at a time is allowed to have their hands inside here with scissors and the frog. Okay? You're not all reaching in. Someone's finger might get snipped instead of the frog. Okay? So then you're going to cut straight across. And what you're trying to do right now is just cut back the skin. And again, you can move your pan some so you can better reach this. I'm on the document camera, so I'm not going to. And then you can do a couple of things. If you can just tuck the skin away, you can just tuck it. My skin is not tucking very well, so I'm going to take another pin and pin the skin down. He's a very juicy frog. Now, what you've exposed are like a muscle layer. Now, the next part is a little harder to cut through because it's thicker. The skin was real thin. So as you cut this, you're going to want to make the same side-to-side cut, kind of between his thighs. Again, turn your scissors sideways. And you're going to be pulling upwards some as you're cutting. So you're not cutting down into the frog or you're going to pierce the organs. Shh. So cutting upward. Can you two be quiet? Shh. This is the hardest part to cut because it's thick. Again, you move your pan if you need to. I'm not going to move it, so I'm stay under the camera here. Okay. Now, when you open up the muscle layer, you may find that you need to cut a little more. Like if there's some tissue holding it, you may have to snip a little bit. Again, one person at a time dissecting, so take turns. And then you take pins again. And you pin back the muscle layer. Okay. Shh. I'm going to change the light on that, see if I can make it come up a little better. Hold on. Okay. Shh. Now, if your frog is really full of liquid, you may want to take it and tip it. I know it's kind of icky, but it'll be okay. Okay? Shh. This frog is not as easy to see inside of as the last one I did, so I'm actually gonna trade frogs. Okay, just for a second. Okay. Frog on top of a frog. Okay. Okay. I can't like. I have to keep them underneath the document camera, okay? So, the insides of that one are a little less able to see. Basically, once you open your frog up, you're going to have different organs showing. Okay, I could find them in here some.
Is this one a boy or a girl?
This is a boy because if it was a girl, it would have eggs in it. Okay? Now, here's one using my little pointer. Okay? Liver. And on your sheet of directions, you're going to have what is what. It's going to tell you, like you're going to come to certain layers. So you've got your liver, you got the heart up here, this little piece right there. That's your heart. When you lift up the liver, or if you want to, and your teacher, you're allowed to, you can cut the liver parts out and put them in the petri dish. Just leave them in here. Don't leave them on the desk. That's kind of disgusting. You'll have your gallbladder, which this one's hard to see, but it's like right down in here, little teeny spot. You have your stomach. Now this stomach is really itty bitty tiny. You can't even hardly see that stomach. This frog's stomach is a little bigger. Okay? Some frogs, we actually had a large beetle in one of the frog's stomachs one year. So if you see that your stomach is really large, you may ask permission. We cut the stomach out and I can show you how to cut it open to look and see what's in it. In most cases, you're not going to, like in this one here, you won't find anything. This one probably is a little bigger, but I don't think there's probably anything, maybe a few little bug parts or something. Okay? And then the lungs and pancreas are back there also.
What is that? So like, it looks like a circle up at the top.
This right here is your heart, right up here.
Next to
these are your livers.
Oh, liver.
Yeah. Okay. An important part is how you clean up. Okay. When you clean up, the first thing you need to do is everybody will have like paper towels or whatever. When you clean up, you take all the materials and you just wipe them carefully, paper towel or baby wipe, whatever we're using at the time. You clean it all off nicely, you put it back in here. As you take the pins out, someone needs to maybe hold the frog down, get all your pins out. Okay, make sure your frog is not, hitched in anymore. Wipe all your pieces off. Any of the black that's on the pins is from the wax that's in the box or the pan. The black is not frog parts. So when you start using the pins, you'll know they're not frog parts. Okay. And then what we do is we take everything. We put this frog back in his bag. So I can show him my other classes. We take everything. Everything, including the wax paper, and we throw it into a trash can. We just take it all out, throw it in a trash can, and we wipe out our pans. Okay?
That's a very disrespectful.
Wait, what does the brand look like on the